Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Um, Today we are with Last Queen and Freak, if you guys want to say hello.
Hi guys.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
And today we are going to be talking about Toughness Capos. Now in our last one we did Precision Capos, today we're going to do Toughness. Just like last time, we're going to be basing it around forces and what we use them for. Where should we start off? Where do you guys want to start off today?
I think everyone should understand that fighting on core event, server war, and FCL is going to be a different setup and different capos each time. So I like to start with telling you guys what I use for pretty much anything that's not on my main server. So if I'm going to have a bomb force sent out on core event, and I'm going to port over to the enemy server, or going to fight in FCL, I'm going to use these three capos. And these three capos are Jack Bolts, Hyman Roth, and Polygato. These three work really, really well together. This is definitely a dream team if you get them all maxed, which I do. But main attributes for Jack Woltz would be Awoken skill is 30% increase on all of his main attributes. So you can't go wrong with that because his if you look into the details of his skills, he is toughness 20% extra. Of course, he kills gangs, and then of course he's also protects you if you get attacked while unbubbled. His talent bonus increases damage. That's his book. And I really like that. I don't have that one maxed out yet, but I'm about 2.22 away. And then, of course, the reward bonus, which for any non-capo of the opponent's force, their damage is reduced by 10%. And that is maxed. So Jack is a really, really good one. Now, you can use Jack in core event, FCL, KCL, server war, at home server, or at enemy server. Jack is one of those that you can pretty much flop around with different capos. But really, with Hyman Roth and Polygato, that is the way you want to go if you're going to be porting anywhere outside of home. The other two, Hyman Roth, of course, his awakened skill is increases damage of assassins against assassins and cars 30%, which is phenomenal. His book increases HP, and of course, it also increases attack. So Hyman Roth is great. Now we all know what he does.
But yeah, a few of us experienced that, and I'm pretty sure you have as well.
I think all three of us have experienced it, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I haven't, because I always win.
Well, that's a good benefit then.
But if I would have lost, I would have experienced it. Yes.
But I guess that is why you also have Jack. Oh, no, Jack's more focused on defense, really, isn't he?
Well, Jack works really well because he reduces damage from the opponent, and all cars and knives with Roth, they get decreased, So, I mean, I love those two. Then, of course, the bonus one is Polygato. He's the third one that I use, and I use them actually in this order, but you can flip the order around, and then they work a little bit different. And if you put Jack first and Poly second and Hyman third, that order actually is going to give you more of a defense to me. And I could be wrong, but I just noticed that it's more of a defense with that combination. If I use my Jack, Hyman, and Polly in that order, that's more of an attack. And of course, Polly, his awakened skills, his bombs damage increase in all CCSE, server war, and FCL. That's 30%. That's a big one. I love that.
That is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really strong fucking attribute to have.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there is that book of his, which is the talent bonus, increases damage and penetration up to 150 points. That's also like a huge one.
Dang.
What's that?
I said that's a lot.
That is a lot, yes. But I mean, I don't have it all the way maxed. I'm not going to say he's totally maxed yet because I am also working on all other kinds of capos right now. But like his reward bonus, CCSE server war, FCL increases damage to bombers. If you start a cob with these three and Polly is in it, your damage will be increased 50% even more. So I'm just saying, it's a dream team.
Sounds that way.
Damn.
Yeah. So these are the ones that I like. Now, if we want to go into medals, of course, I'm very partial to Labor Day. Love Labor Day. I'm also very much like the 4th anniversary. And the third one that I'm actually using is the pumpkin, which everybody says that it's sucky, but I like it because it's got initiative.
Just for the people that don't understand, so there's a lot of people that haven't seen the 4th anniversary medal. What actually comes? What buffs does that actually give you?
The 4th anniversary medal reduces loss of troops when attacking a city, initiative increase, damage to massacre, marching speed increase, and we have the special bonus of toughness exclusives, bomber defense, and reduction of damage of suffered from massacre bombardment. So that's what the 4th anniversary gives me.
It's really similar to the 3rd anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a 4th one. Oh, that's cool.
It really is. But like I said, my most favorite medal of all time is the Labor Day medal. And of course, we have that event right now. So if anybody gets the 1600 hard hats, please get that one and get it for your troop specific, whatever your F1 is, because it is really a very, very good medal to have. That one would give you initiative, accuracy, HP, damage to drive-by. And of course, I have the Bombers exclusive. That Bomber's hit rate on drive-bys has been increased 300 points, which is also another wow. Love it.
Oh yeah.
And then also reduces damage suffered from drive-bys, because of course everybody uses drive-bys. Well, all the big boys do.
There is so many big spenders out there that run drive-bys thinking that they are the best. Now, obviously, we've got these little things. It's great as well because the Labor Day event's out, and you know, getting that Labor Day medal it can be quite expensive.
Yes.
So having this event is just making it so much easier. As long as you're maxing out, you know, all your neutral gangs and your gatherings, you should be able to get it without spending.
Yes, everybody should be able to get 1600 easy if you just do your NGSs and you send out farmers. Just go farm on level 1s or 2s just to get the hard hats. Hit your movie studio. Make sure that you keep clearing your blocks because they gave you hard hats as well.
Oh yeah.
And then just keep signing in and get the little tool chest.
Absolutely.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that. I haven't
Now,
done one.
I have a question for you, Les Queen. You mentioned something that has been a topic of conversation that kind of creeps up every now and then. You talked about the order of capos and how you are seeing different results based on the order. And I know you do a lot of testing with your troops. And so I find that very interesting because I've been told that the order doesn't matter.
I think it absolutely does matter. And it also matters where your skills are when they are in that order. So your skill set should be also tailored to which position they're in.
That's
Absolutely.
very interesting. Very cool. So, what have you seen? Can you repeat again, just in case anybody missed it, what you were saying about the order difference that you saw with those three capos?
The way I use my attack force would be Jack, Roth, and Gatto. So that would be the order for my attack. If I be defending or sending a reinforcements to somebody, I would use Jack, Gatto, and Roth. So Roth would be on the last slot. Could not tell you why it's like that because I'm really not the numbers person. That's why
Mhm.
I'm not an engineer.
I'm sure that there's some sort of reasoning behind the order behind the scenes that we are not aware of that has to do with the attributes. That is very
Yeah.
interesting that you have been noticing that difference, though.
Yeah. And definitely, as I have my skills set up, of course, I'm only using 3 skills. And most recently, I actually reached out to a bomber's god, and he gave me an extra skill to use, which I never even thought about using distraction. I never used distraction until just now. And now my bombs are even stronger. Just one distraction on one copy.
Wow, very nice.
That's quite interesting because I've always I've always been taught about the importance of boxing free and distraction, regardless of the capo's set. So even on power, I'm using chase, boxing free, distraction. The same with my precision, and I run that through every single capo that I have.
Well, I use boxing 3 as well because I use it on all 3 of my capos. And then I'm using confusion on one. Let's see, what am I using? And then I'm using chase. That would be a different one for the second one. And the third one, I'm only using 2 different skill sets, which would be Jack. Jack only gets 2 because I want that to activate us more frequently.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's another one as well that everyone sets up their skills completely differently. Now, in the slots, how do you set it up? Do you change your skill lineup for an attack compared to a defense, or do you just keep it the same?
I keep it the same, but if I change the position of the capo, then yes, I'm going to switch around the skill sets as well. So, like right now on my second capo, which would be Hyman, I'm using slot 1, 2, and 3. So, if he's going to go to slot 3, then I'm going to use again 1, 2, and 3, but I'm going to use a different types of skills. So, I'm going to switch them around.
That's very interesting. I like that. I've always experimented with skill lineups.
And it's trial and error, really, with me. I mean, I can't explain to you how it works, but it works.
Yeah, it
So,
does. Yeah, I don't understand it either. I have no idea.
but what I found also is that my F2 bombs, which would be Al Solozo and Capone, they are a dream team. And most of the time, of course, this is what I will be using if it's server war and somebody's coming to my house. That's what I'd be using is these 3 because they work really well together. There is a bonus. What is it? I think it was L's bonus. L is all dodge. And I love that he increases his dodge of all bombers by 30%. So that's already a win.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
Yeah.
excellent.
And yeah. And let's see, what is that one? I don't think it was L. Maybe it was one. See, I didn't do my homework. I did not finish my homework. This is what
No, it's
happens.
okay. It's okay. It
It's
doesn't need to
totally
be
good.
perfect, yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
I think it is Solozo. So if you use Solozo with Al and Capone in together, you get a bonus. of all your troops. I think it's 24%, something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, you do. Yeah,
So that's why they're good. And of course, I use a different car for my second, my F2. I still like. That's just because I don't have my other cars maxed yet. But I still like Venom. Venom is great, but my Venom is maxed, so of course I'm going to use it for my F2.
that's very interesting. Okay, okay.
Yeah. But I am working on my Spider. He's getting there.
That is quite good. I mean, that was actually going to be my next question. It was about cars. So about Abyss as well, because I know for bombs, dodge is quite a big thing. Would you ever use Abyss? Because I know that brings an increase of dodge.
So I have not used Abyss yet because I'm still working on it as well. I only have it at 3 stars. So I haven't been getting any pieces for it, and I kind of took flame
Yeah.
before that one because I wanted some extra space for cobs just in case that nobody else was around and I had to start a cob.
Yeah, I completely get
With Ollie, it's good. Ollie was laughing all the way.
I noticed something on Capone that I don't know if you mentioned, and it may just been because we overlooked it. But I noticed on his awakening that he once bombers in his force dodge an attack, then accuracy of their attack will be increased by 20%, and it's stackable. I thought that last particular part about it's allowing it to be stackable was very interesting.
Yeah, that's why he was one of my first ones that I got maxed out. That phone, that couple. He's really, really good. And of course, in the very early stages of the game, when you don't have core yet and you're not really worried about winning FCL or KCL because you just can't, because there'll be a freight truck coming to run you over and all your dreams will be crushed. Server War is all we had, and of course, with Server War, Capone was the bomb. He was like the best.
Yeah, he is good. He is really good, especially when you got all three together. Because in his book, his reward bonus is increasing. You increase the attack if you have all three of them together.
Yes.
That could also relate into CCSE
Yeah,
slightly.
there it is. The reward bonus on his book is El Solodo and Capone increased the attack of all bombers in the force by 40%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's better than all buffs, that you can put on in your items. So that is a big addition, but you don't really need that when you're talking about the lineup that you had already with
Yeah. So my lineup for my F2. I don't want to say anything bad, so let me just look it up really fast. It is okay. I have Al Capone and Salozo on the list spot, and of course they're using Venom. I don't know how I did this, but Capone's overall percentage of bonuses that I get from him is the highest one that I have for any of my bombers capos, and I don't know how I did that. The attributes, if you look at the attributes, most of the attributes, like toughness attributes, would be around 10,000 to 11,000. I don't know how Capone got to 12,000, but he did.
It could be your medal, depending on what medal you're using. Maybe that could affect the overall attributes.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
So if you
And
got
it could be a vault item too.
yeah, actually it could, but that would work for all of them.
Yeah. That's true. That would work for all of them.
Yeah.
But I do know that Asian Pacific is pretty much all maxed, every one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have one of them that's not maxed.
Yeah, speaking about the vault as well, obviously that's a good direction. Let's move on to the vault. Thank you, Matt. This is so nice. We don't really have to ask too many questions. You're guiding us the whole entire way. This is actually
Well, I
lovely.
told you.
I love it. I actually love it. So obviously the biggest ones you're gonna mention already is, the wood carving human face that increases your dodge, and
Yes.
the gold crown, which is coordination. But
Yes.
what else would you choose? Just from Asian Pacific, and then we'll move down.
So also have noticed that damage is very, very important for definitely bombers, because if there is a damage item that I can upgrade, I'm going to do it because I need that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the vault, most of the damage, the sub levels that you can gain when you increase the stars of the items, they don't really give you too much toughness. So if, like, let's say the Statue of Forebear, okay, that one reduces damage dealt to your button man by 30% when attacking a button man on players from other cities. So that one right there, of course, that was one of the first ones that I had maxed. Let's see which one was the other one that I absolutely loved, and it was like, okay, so this one I just did, the textile. The textile is in FCL and KCL, of course.
Right.
When launching a combined operations increases damage of button men in combined operations by 15%. I know it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but really it is. And
it
if you look
is.
at his sub, yeah, if you look at like his sub, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, where you can like fix your, or whatever you call that. One of the first one increases the attack of all of your button men, and then the second one is a bomber HP increase by 3%. And all of these little things involved, 2%, 3%, 1%, they add up. And they are so important. And just by 1%, sometimes just 1% increase makes a huge difference.
It is. It makes a massive difference. Like the vault is a game changer.
And also, I think penetration of all button men is also very important. And all of these that I'm naming off, these are like the lower star items. So these are the ones that's going to be easier to get pieces for, so you can repair them, and it's going to be very vital for strength of a march. So the two-handed bronze ritual vessel, that's a good one. I like that one. Let's see, which one was that? Well, this was in the Asia Pacific. Of course, all of them are good, but I think the elephant board was the other one that I really liked, and it's just because it increased my bomber's HP by 4%. I'm always looking for item that I can increase bombs with. And it was that, and then the compass, and yeah, no, where's the compass? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, the compass, and then the elephant board thing. So those are the ones that I don't necessarily look for the 5 stars or trying to get the 5 stars maxed first. I don't really care that much for that because it's very hard to find pieces for it, first of all. But what I do want to stress is the festive collection cabinet. When we have these events with the flower events, okay? And then you go through the whole 6 or 8 steps of, I don't even know what that bonus thing. That's when you get usually some sort of a liquid that you can get a new piece, like a new festive collection cabinetry.
Oh yeah, okay. I just heard. I was like liquid. I was like, huh?
Yeah, it's the very first one.
Yeah, the waters that everybody wants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the different waters. So it's very difficult to get these pieces, of course, outside of any event. Actually, I think there's only 2 events that offer these, but they're like a bajillion whatever pieces you have to collect for those. But I like the golden egg. The golden egg is good. And then also the gold deer head. And that's because I'm talking about damage again. And then HP.
Very
So
nice.
what my family and I have discussed is what we decided that HP and damage, they should work hand in hand. So if you're doing like an upgrade in your library and you're going to upgrade, make sure you do equally. So don't just do HP and then go all the way up to the max level of that one and then not catch up with the other side. So please make sure that you do both sides.
I'm so glad someone else thinks the exact same way as me. That's exactly how I've been working them.
Okay, so all right, I just got the screen up. So if you go into your library, the very bottom is the cross suppression, I guess that's what it's called.
There's cross.
And that's for a cross server kind of bonuses that you can gain. There is speed that you can get on one side, and then the other side is going to be a defense and attack. Please make sure that you do equal at both sides. Don't be lopsided, because then you will be caught by somebody like me who's equal on both sides.
100%, yeah. Because most of the time you're setting up duels, because people are quite disciplined with bubbles. And, even when you're doing tile fights, half the time you're going to let them hit you and then you're going to hit them. So it needs to be even. Like, it really does need to be even.
Well, it's interesting that y'all are talking about that, because my thought process on this is slightly bit differently.
Okay.
So what you guys are both describing, duels, tile fights, those are attacks of some sort. That's not a defense in any way, shape, or form. Whether you're on the tile or you are the garrison, you're not defending. It's still an attack.
Right.
So a true defense would be something like raining, for example. Or if somebody actually hits your city, then you are defending. Just like if you were hit with Roth on a tile or on a garrison and you're in CCSE, you're still affected because it's technically still an attack. That is an attack that your troops did, because when you leave your city in your cars, for example, and you're going to NGs or you're doing a garrison and it's cars, that is by definition an attack.
Yes.
So if you are setting yourself up for defense, you're going to be a defense player and you focus solely on defense. At no point should you ever set up a duel in any way, because you're not set up for duels. You're set up for defense. You should be the person defending your players against attacks from other players.
That is correct, yes.
Or you should be the bait.
I love to be the bait.
I see what you mean now. I was a bit confused for a moment then.
Yeah. That's how I look at it. Now, whether or not that is exactly how it works is another question, but you're technically not supposed to be attacking if you are focused solely on defense.
Well, that's definitely correct. And really, we don't really like the whole ranged hits and things like that, because it's really never fair. Especially if somebody, that does not spend and they want to just get some points. Because really, if you gonna go against somebody over M32 and you're at 29 and you don't have the same types of medals and hotel capo set and all of that, you're gonna lose. You're going to maybe kill one or two or wound one or two troops. So it's gonna be a total loss. So I'm trying to encourage everybody, please do not do versus one fights with anybody that's not in your level.
Yeah.
Stay within your level.
Yeah, I do agree on that. Yeah.
Quick question for you to follow up our question that we did on your F1, where you switch out the order of the capos and the skills based upon the situation. Do you do the same thing with your F2?
My F2 always stays the same.
Okay.
I don't really mess with F2 because they work really well in that order that they are in right now. And actually, truthfully, I've never even tested them as much as I've tested my F1. I've just recently went into this whole testing stage where I just kind of test things.
I like that though. I'm always testing out capos and always I feel like that is the best way to be. I know you might know something that works, and it's safe. It's good to play it safe, especially when you're, dealing with a lot of troops to lose. And when you get to these higher mansions, it's expensive to even heal them, let alone rebuild them all. But I still think it is it's great to experiment because you don't know if you can find something that's better than what you're already using.
That is correct. Also, I want to mention something. I want to encourage everybody to use loyal troops, not mercenaries, as your fighting troops. And that means, let's say, okay, I'm hitting elites. Of course, elites is totally different kind of thing. So you hit elites, let's say, with 1,000 apiece. Don't use your mercenaries with elites because then they're going to be wounded and then you're going to have to use white cash to get them out of the hospital. Not worth it. Now, a CL, yeah, use them because you're not going to lose them.
True. Yeah.
And like regular fights, don't use your expensive troops. Use the troops that you can replace easily. And not, make sure you use the hospital buff to lower your cost of healing troops and then increasing speed of healing as well. But I don't really use my mercenaries to fight. And I think that is the biggest problem that some people that went against me, that's how they lose. Because they use like their top of the line mercenaries, let's say 4,000 of them. And I'm like, really? Let me show you my T8s.
Yeah. I mean, that's a problem with a lot of players as well. They don't consider the star enhancements and small things like that makes your troops a lot stronger than their mercenaries, and then they're sat there crying, wondering how did it happen? I'm meant to be stronger, yet they're not. Yeah, it's a way to play. I'm guilty though because I I use my mercenaries on elites, so
Okay.
I'm guilty of it. I will admit. But I don't get my mercenaries wounded, which is quite strange.
Well, you probably have the whatever buff that I don't have, but I mean,
I might be lucky of the way I fought.
you might just be lucky. All I know is that with my bombers, I don't get any wounded on 1, 2, and 3s.
Yeah.
So those are the ones. My bombs are the strongest though.
How are you doing against players that use drive-bys?
Excellent. There's only 2 people so far that cannot beat my bombs. I mean, I cannot beat with my bombs.
That's
and
awesome.
they're both in my family.
Oh wow.
So I don't have to worry about them trying to kill me. But yeah, they're doing really good against drive-bys because also what I did not mention, and this is another really big one, if you go into your items and then you go to your equipment and your imprints, not the imprints, the ornaments, and then you see what you collected, the collected ornaments, okay, you can change these. Every time that you get a new ornament, they come with like these extra collected. If you collect, you get this. So every one of them that I have is my collections is damage to drivers. So I am tailoring my damage to drivers on all of these.
Very nice.
But you
I
can
love
change that. This is one of those things that you would want to change now. If you're gonna do a 1 versus 1 with somebody, just say, "Hey, I got knives, so you got bombs. Let's test who can win." And that's when I would be like, "Okay, hang on a second. Let me change this to damage to knives," and of course they will lose.
That's an
But
excellent point because I don't think that on the newer servers in particular, people are thinking about those kinds of things when they go into fights. It's changing like all of the stuff that goes with it, like the imprints and the car, or yeah, that goes with your troops and the ornaments associated with who you're battling at the time. So that's a really great reminder to do
yeah,
that.
definitely the ornaments make a huge difference. The collected ornaments, and I have some really good ones. Well, of course, all of them usually with the cars, damage to cars, but you can get some excellent ones that will give you collected like 3 different types of damage to all kinds of troops. There's one, I think it's the deer amulet. That one gives you damage to. There's one that gives you extra damage to all of them, all of opponents' troops. So it doesn't matter the type. So definitely that needs to be changed according to who you're going against. If you are a knives guy or guns, you definitely are the underdog. Sorry to say this, but you are going to be trying to come up with these fancy things to increase the damage that you could cause on them and the least damage that you will be getting just by clicking these little buttons and just switching it.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely something that you shouldn't skip out on, and a lot of players do, and that's why a lot of players, even people that spend, they're struggling against the players that are actually really paying attention.
Yeah.
Even,
And see, when I go into FCL or KCL, I always my ornaments buffs stay the same because everybody uses cars, and of course they try to kill you with them and on the HQ hit and stuff like that. But if I use my buffs with the ornament to go against drivers, I got a little bit of an advantage or a little bit of help, even if it's an M30 that I'm facing. But recently I killed an M30 bombs versus bombs,
really?
and I was very proud of myself.
What mansion level are you again?
I just got M
That's impressive.
like last week.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. But I'm trying to get my tech up because, of course, it's not double my building power yet, and it should be. But it's not easy to get there.
You should always try to keep it at least double. But it's expensive. You get to these higher upgrades, and you need so much alloy. It is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I wanted to mention. If you have a Jack Waltz at 4-star and you're hitting NGS, please make sure you put him in the hotel.
Yes.
Because then he'll give you these little trophies that would be in the wild spot. It gives you these little trophies that you can exchange for alloy.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a
Oh
very
my
good
gosh.
point as well. Leaning into the hotel. We haven't asked the question, but what would you use inside your hotel? Obviously, it's going to change slightly depending if you're gonna attack compared to if you're gonna defend. But what would you use inside your hotel for your bombs?
Well, I'll use these particular setup that I have right now for pretty much all of them. Well, unless we're going to battle, then of course then I have to flip-flop around Johnny Fontaine and Heim and then Shadow and all that stuff. But other than that, I usually have Nicholas as the intelligence for battle 1. I've always used Dominic because Dominic is really, really good, helpful. Santino Corley on battle 2. He is
Brilliant.
He is very underrated, and I think he is excellent.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. For guard, of course, I'm using bruschetta right now because I'm not going to say names, but we have somebody that we have to make sure that keep them on their toes.
Yep, that's the best way to be. Surprise them.
And then, of course, attack. I think I'm using Thomas. Yeah, I'm using Thomas because he's a bomber guy on attack 1. And then I'm using Polygato right now on attack 2 because we are in the middle of FCL, KCL thing. So that's what I have there. The block, of course, you can flip-flop that around. Costanza Corleone is really good, helps you out with your hospital. So if I'm going to go in a fight and I've already used my Johnny Fontaine, of course I'm going to switch to Constanzia because if I'm expecting to have some damage or some wounded, I'm going to need her help. Now Ralphie, and this is another big one. I don't know if anybody even knows this because this is like a little best kept secret of this game.
Ooh.
Ralphie at 5-star gives you resources. And when we have the barrel event and you have a barrel active, Ralphie will give you double that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, I know. It's a secret. Nobody tells you about it unless you just accidentally figure it out.
I haven't really paid enough attention to that capo, to be honest with you. I've just
Well, it's very easy to get Ralphie to 5-star just because the whole daily sign-in thing.
I could probably build him 5-star with the amount of fragments I've got. I'm pretty sure a lot of people play it as well.
And really, that's all he's good for, is just to give you some resources. And I like that because instead of 1 million, I usually get 2 million cash, and then I'll just start, getting some white cash out of it. Absolutely, don't forget, when we have the barrel event and you have a barrel active, that's when you want to activate Ralphie, and then you can switch back to Constanzia or Johnny Fontaine.
Oh, I've just
very
learned
nice
something.
tip.
Yeah, I've just learned something new.
I'm glad I can help.
Wow, I can't believe I didn't pay attention to that.
Well, that's exactly what these episodes are about, is, sharing information that we learn along the way, and not just about the bomber capos, but this particular instance we learned about Ralphie and what he helps regarding the barrel event. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that and helping everybody, not just us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's loads of other players out there that did not know that at all. And I mean, for players that are not non-spenders, or even for spenders, getting that many resources just dropped off to you within a click, that's going to make a massive difference.
Yes. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is Mo Green. You guys know that there is this special thing with Hyman Roth. If you use Mo Green, that you get increased attack.
Yes, we actually discussed this last time with Precision about they're being paired together within a force.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I use my Mo Green, who's actually maxed out as well, instead of Polly or Jack Woltz, or maybe I'll put like Roth into a gun Capo lineup, it is definitely not good. It's not going to be as effective as my first F1 bombs. Like, not even close. So the whole Mo Green bonus, I'm sure it's great for like a mixed troop and early stages of this game. Maybe it does help that way. But at a later stage where you're up and above M32 and above, it really does not. The Mo and Roth thing does not work very well together.
That's interesting.
And what I'm talking about is the awakened skill of Hyman Roth, which would include damage of assassins and cars, and it would be 30% at max, or the reward bonus, which would be increase of bombs attack by 30%. If you have Roth and Mo together, these percentages double. So it would be 60 and 60.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. but it's just not going to be as effective as using a good lineup for your F1.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe when I get to be M37, I'm going to say, I don't care what couple I use. I can use Bernardo, and I'm going to kill everybody. You know?
Forever Bernardo.
Someone's gonna love hearing that.
But
Best.
like right now, no, not really good.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I have for the bombs. Of course, there is so much to this game, and we really just touched like really quick surface on what should and should not be. And there are always new couples coming out.
Absolutely.
And with the new couples, just gotta look at them and see if they would work. I think Thomas. I think Thomas is the bomb, the new bomb. I have not experimented with him yet, but he's gonna be my next one. And according to his stats, he should be really good. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've heard a mixed review from him. Some people say it's good, other people say it's just a waste of money. But
Yeah,
I could be using him completely wrong. You know.
yeah. I see is the HP increase for his awakened skills, and he does not have a book, so pretty much he's not gonna be as good as Al.
Yeah.
Al is already better because of the dodge.
No,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But who knows? He might get a book one of these days, and then he's gonna become the go-to Capo for bombs. But right now, he's not. So Capos evolve, they change, they get increased bonuses, like what we have right now with these metal enhancements. I don't know if you guys heard about them.
Yeah.
There's so much more that you can do. That's why I like this game, because it evolves, it keeps you on your toes, and you keep learning. So it's not stagnant.
It will,
Absolutely.
it will keep growing, and we're going to keep getting new things. I mean, even the veterans are going to have to learn, you know. So
Yeah.
it's nice. It keeps you on your toes, like you say. It keeps you learning. It's always something new to mess around with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, do you think there's anything? Is there anything else you want to cover with your toughness capos? Is there anything you feel like we've missed?
No, I think that is all I can say right now. There is, like I said, there is just so much. And if anybody ever wants or has a question, always shoot me a line message. And if I was not clear enough, I'll be happy to explain to you in more detail in a PM.
That's lovely. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to ask us questions, so at least we can now direct them your way. Let's say
Sounds good.
some work. You got any questions, Frig? You got anything on your mind?
No, I've just been listening to what, the knowledge that she's sharing, because I have never really used bombs as a primary troop type, and so this was all very interesting for me. And her combinations of capos and how she switches them out is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's definitely some interesting information for me. I have to try
You're
that out.
welcome. Glad I can help out and share some info. I mean, just try it out, see if it works for you. If you're not sure about why it's not working, just shoot me a PM and we'll go over it and we'll look at it.
Yeah, no, that's lovely. That is great. Well, we do appreciate you coming on and giving us all your knowledge. You know, you're going to give a lot of people that are looking into building bombs or even building bombs something new to look at, you know, helping them, getting them a bit stronger, giving us some better competition.
Yes,
Now,
definitely. And thank you for having me.
no, you're more than welcome. We appreciate you coming on. I've got one question for you, though, before you leave the recurring thing. Now, would you say, right, so it's date, marry, or kill, okay? Rocco, Clemenza, and Roth. Who would you date? Who would you marry? And who would you kill?
Rocco, Clemenza, and who?
And Hyman Roth.
Hyman Roth.
Yep.
Without a doubt. I've seen the movie. I know what he's capable of. But yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you again. We do appreciate you coming on. It was quite short notice as well. So,
Well,
Really
thank you for having me.
Really
yeah,
appreciate you. Thank you again.
All right, thanks, guys.
that's all great.
All
Yeah.
right. Bye, Queen.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, guys.